What's going on, guys? I wanted to kind of quickly do a little overview of my most recent SBR build. It's been working really good. I got about 500 rounds through it so far. I haven't had any issues with it, so yeah, let's kind of go over it a little bit. To start, I have my upper receiver. I do have the Aero Precision enhanced M4E1 upper. I have that with a Magpul injection port cover. It's, made of the Magpul polymer that we all know and love from their magazines. Real durable stuff. Haven't had any issues with this. Kind of cuts down the weight just a tiny bit if you want to get real, min-maxy. But mostly kind of just got it for the nice, sleek look to it. Just flat, matte, black. So looks really good, works really good, no issues there. I do have the Aero Precision enhanced handguard here. It's a 10.7 inch handguard. Works really good. It's got 4 screws on each side, which is what locks into their enhanced upper. It's a design that they got. It's going absolutely nowhere. It is a free float handguard, so no issues if you're gonna rest this on a barrier or something like that and shoot. You're gonna have no issues with the round hitting kind of slightly off because it's pushing up against the barrel or anything kind of weird. So works really good. Does have some QD mounts all the way around on 3 points. It's got Picatinny completely up on the top of the rail, and then M-lock on the sides, which obviously I'm using with some stuff here. I do have the BCM Gunfighter Mod 3 vertical grip on the front here. Like it a lot. It's not too freaking big. It's got a slight angle to it, which makes it a little more comfortable for me in my hands. On the other side here, for the light, I do have the ProTac HLX by Streamlight. This light's really bright, works really good. I have that on an Arasaka inline scout mount. It does push a little bit more forward, so that way I get a little bit less of the suppressor shadow, if you will. And I have it on the left side specifically because I am a right-handed shooter, so that way I don't really see the shadow because the shadow is going to be on the right, and if I'm aiming down sights, obviously the gun is going to be more or less in the way, so I won't see the shadow on the right, so I can see everything on the left. There'll be no shadow, so that's why I actually have it on my left side. It kind of gets in the way a tiny bit, so it's a little bit of a trade-off. Gets in the way obviously of your vision. If I'm looking down the sights, I can see it on the left instead of being on the right, hidden from me, but at the same time less shadow, so that's why I do that. I do have the pressure switch, which comes with the HLX by Streamlight. It works okay, it's whatever, it's alright. It's a pressure pad, it's kind of cheap. I'll probably end up swapping it out for something different later on, but yeah, it works good. With the handguard, or the handguard here, it is a little bit thicker than some other handguards. I do like that a lot. It does have this kind of texture built into it, kind of helps you get a little bit more of that grip, but the thickness of the handguard is kind of nice for my hands, a little bit bigger hands. If you have a little bit smaller hands, it might not be as good for you. It might be a little harder to get your hand completely around it, but for me, works good. But yeah, it's 10.7 inch handguard, and inside I do have a 11.5 inch barrel by Aero Precision. As you can see, there's not really a lot of barrel that sticks out past. It's pretty almost dead nuts on there. I like the look of it. That's kind of why I went with it. I wanted a more slim look. I didn't want the suppressor to be in the muzzle device to be inside the handguard. I wanted it to be just outside, so it works for me. I do have an Aero Precision adjustable gas block because I am running suppressed. It was a little bit easier to kind of tune my gun, the gases for suppressed shooting, and then if I want to go unsuppressed for whatever reason, I can easily just adjust that. So moving on to the very front here, I do have a YHM Turbo T3. This is I just got this in. This is my first can ever. It is a 5.56 can. Works really good. I like it a lot. No issues, no complaints here. I do have a Rearden Atlas mount on here, and then for a muzzle device, I do have a Rearden. It's like one of their flash hiders. It's like FHD, I think is what it is. So what's really nice about Rearden is, so the way their mounts are, you thread it on, and there's a taper here, and there's a taper inside of their mount of the suppressor. And basically what happens is when the taper of the suppressor and the flash hider meet up, it's going to get snug, and then you just kind of give it a little bit more of a twist, a little snug twist, and basically that's going to seal with the taper and the taper. It's going to end up sealing those gases, and it's going to, one, obviously prevent any gases from escaping out of between the threads, and two, there's absolutely going to be no fouling going on the threads, that kind of stuff. You're not going to get any sort of carbon lock. As you can see, I've got, like I said, about 500 rounds through this with the suppressor, and you can see all the fouling in the front and none on the taper. So it obviously works really good. I like what Rearden's doing with their muzzle devices and their suppressor mounts. So yeah, I definitely recommend them if you're able to swap out your device, your suppressor mount. So Rearden. Let's go ahead and move back to the lower receiver. I do have Aero Precision's just M4E1 lower receiver on here. The FDE Cerakote matches, obviously the rest of it. I've got my serial number and my SBR etching taped over here because there's a lot of weirdos on the internet, just so I don't have to listen to any kind of weirdos or deal with any kind of stupid stuff. Works good. I like it a lot. The Aero Precision lower, a lot of people use these. A lot of people like real good lowers. I've got a Magpul MOE K2 Plus grip on here. It's got that little bit of grippy texture. Works good. It's got a little bit of storage in here if you want to store whatever. I've got some batteries actually in there. So I like that grip a lot. I do have the Battle Arms Development Ambi Safety Selector. It's their badass Ambi Safety Selector with a 60-degree short throw, so it's not a full 90. Doesn't go completely vertical. I like that a lot. Works good for me. I like it, and it looks pretty cool. It's got a little bit of texturing on it. So moving on down a little bit more, I do for my stock, I've got the Magpul MOE. I think it's the SL stock on here. I like it. It's got a good cheek weld on here for me. It's nice and slim. Works good. It's got a QD mount here. Quick adjust, obviously. It's got a lever here. It doesn't have really much wobble to it. It's a tiny bit, but that doesn't really bother me. I could care less. I do have the Aero Precision enhanced buffer tube kit on here, and in there I have a Springco blue enhanced buffer spring and an Aero Precision H2 buffer because I am running suppress, so I have an H2 buffer in there. For the charging handle, I am running a Geisley Super charging handle. I specifically went with this one because of this. It's got this little bit of a lip right here on the back of the charging handle, and basically what that lip does is it kind of helps divert gases away from my face when I'm shooting. I don't know if that's entirely works that good or not. I'm not really sure. It's the only one I've shot with my suppressor, but it works okay. You still get a little bit of gases. It's a suppressor. Obviously, you're going to get a lot of pressure in the system that's going to go through wherever it can. Seems to work all right. But Geisley charging handle. For the bolt carrier group, I do have Aero Precision's just phosphate bolt carrier group. Works good. I've got probably 1,200 rounds through it. No issues there. Trigger, I have a Rise Armament Rave 140. It's their like curved bow trigger is what they call it. It's a single stage trigger. I like it a lot. It does have about a 3.5 to 4 pound pull. A lot of people that I've had shoot this AR have all said that, oh yeah, the trigger seems pretty nice. It's single stage, so if you're not used to a single stage and you use a 2-stage, then it might be a little bit different at first, but it's nice crisp break on it and reset, so I like it. Yeah, moving on from there, let's go to optics. I do have a the Vortex AMG UH1, or the Huey, you might call it. It is the Gen 2. It's a holographic sight. So all you EOTech lovers out there, this is, and people that know what EOTech is and the EXPS, you know, sights, the holographic sights, and love them. This is basically their closest competitor, really their only competitor, because it is a true holographic. It has night vision settings in it. It gets very, very bright. I like the look of it. It does kind of look futuristic, kind of like space gunny. I think it looks cool. A lot of people don't like how long the hood goes back. It's pretty much the same footprint as a EOTech. The only difference between this and the EOTech, which makes this look way bigger, is the EOTech's hood obviously doesn't go all the way back. This one does. So it looks bigger, it's really not, and it's pretty comparable to the same weight and everything. But with that said, I do have a the Vortex Micro 3X magnifier. It is a flip magnifier, so if I want to get it out of the way, flip it out and flip it back. Very, very, very strong mount here. There's zero play, zero wiggle. Very positive. Switch back and forth to it. I like it a lot. Both these do have the QD mounts, so if I do want to remove either one of these, I can quickly just basically push on this back lever, pull this lever up, and it pops right off. And that's for both of them. This is a really good combo. This is the 3X helps me reach out if I want to get a little bit further away. I can see much easier spot on whatever I'm trying to shoot. Easier, you know, get that positive identification on a target a little bit further away. I like it a lot. So, but yeah, that pretty much sums up the whole build here. Once again, I will say this is a newer build. I got about 500 rounds through it here so far anyways, and I have absolutely no complaints with this. Pretty much built it completely. It was all just parts. Built it completely, put it together after I got the approval, the Form 1 approval for SBR. Paid the $200 tax stamp and then waited for it to get approved. After that came in, built her, and yeah, I have absolutely no complaints. Shoots really good. Have tuned the gas really well on it, and yeah, I have no complaints with it. Shoots nice. Couldn't be really much happier with it. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comments, and I'll answer them for you. But other than that, I am out of here. Appreciate it. Peace.